Hello and welcome, everybody. This is the Hot Corner Insider Strategy Session. I am your host, Steve Straz, the Director of Research at All Star Charts. We do this every week right here on Stock Market TV at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. We have so much to catch up on this week. Just checking the chat now. Hi, everybody. How are we doing? We have so much. All right, fantastic. Everybody's here. Look at this. So good. All right, guys, first things first. Where's my disclaimer? Oh, it's down here. Nothing we discuss here today constitutes any solicitation to buy or sell security. This is all solely for informational purposes, not to be construed as investment advice. For more on our disclaimer, head to stockmarkettv.com/terms. We have a really special event coming up, live event tomorrow, where we're going to dive into this hot corner world that we talk about here every Wednesday, and we're going to launch some new features. We're going to talk about exactly how we use these filings to make money in the market. So I'm really excited about some of these new features that we're going to launch, some of the new things that we're going to be doing. Definitely be there to check that out. We dropped a link in the chat where you can go sign up at the top of the chat. So be sure to do that. Hope to see you all there. Dawson, Curtis, Donovan. I know Mary will be there. All right. Who remembers this? We talked about it. Talked about it on here. Is Apple really about to complete pretty large top, about a 12-month top, double top, in the middle of a bull market for stocks? We made the bet that that would be a failed top. We had this nice little momentum divergence in play, a little bear trap, right? Got that hook higher. This is what the chart looks like now. And boy, are they topping it off here in these past 2 days. Everybody, just take a second, sit back in your desk chair, and just admire the price action in Apple over the past 2 days. Because we don't see this very often. This is rare. This is one of Apple's best back-to-back win streaks, right? So just 2 consecutive days performance of all time. It's crazy. Definitely in recent history, outside of we had one late summer of 2020 that was, as of now, better than the last two days. Again, we still have 3 hours today, so that could change. But the gains from Apple and the way this is breaking out, this is what you call a decisive breakout, right? We want to see an authoritative move through resistance. It's exactly what we got here yesterday. This was on the heels of the WWDC conference. They gave the keynote there. So people getting excited about Apple doing AI things. Who would have thought that Apple would benefit from this AI revolution? Who would have thought? Crazy to think, right? So we're getting the breakout. Got to be long Apple. It's just about hitting our target. So we had the target drawn using fibs from the, I guess, early 2022 high to early 2023 low right here. Boom, target hit. Just about. Listen, RSI 14 is up around 80 right now. Like I just said, in terms of the, back-to-back performance, this is about as good as it gets for Apple. Not a bad time to feed the ducks, right? Is this a trade or is it an investment? If it's a trade, it's a great place to ring the register up here around 220. If it's investment, you can let it cool off and get long against this level. If you're already long and you plan on holding for, 1 to 3 years, any sort of long-term time frame, just want to sit on your hands here, right? This kind of momentum is never a bad thing. If you're concerned with the primary trend, more tactically, does it give back some tomorrow or the next day? Probably, right? So what are you trying to accomplish? What is your time frame? Anybody with a longer term time frame who's interested in being here for the primary trend, you want to keep on holding, 278 is the next stop. But again, wow, just look at this candle. So good. Microsoft Corporation, another political filing. The politicians seem to do really well with the Mag 7s. But it's also because they tend to invest just like every other investor, right? They're just buying the biggest, best names. So this is Ro Khanna, House of Representative member. In the Microsoft first target hit, we're blowing through it right now. Microsoft looks so good. I think you have to be long. We were just talking about different ways to play it through basically long call strategies on our analyst meeting. Microsoft's gone sideways for about 5 months now within the context of a sweet uptrend, right? Reminds me of this period here back in the third, fourth quarter of last year. We had a lot of sideways and then we ripped. Now, again, a lot of sideways. I think we're about to rip. Next stop, 570. KKR. This is rallying on S&P 500 index addition. So we had a couple new stocks added to the S&P 500. CrowdStrike was another one. Getting a huge move from CrowdStrike this week. Didn't bring the chart along today. We're already long, staying long. KKR was also added. GoDaddy was added. So KKR, first target hit, 110. We want to stay long this winter. 152 is our next stop. Guidewire Software. They do software for like property and casualty insurance industry. Super interesting. Whenever you get one of these like industry software providers, there tends to eventually be a winner of the whole space, and they tend to be great stocks, right? Financial software, right? Retirement account and planning type software. We have stocks for that. We have restaurant software stocks. We have healthcare, right? And medical software stocks. This is the insurance software stock, GWRE. We're getting the breakout now above 134. We like it long to 184. Ecolab. William Gates III. Yeah, that's him. Bill Gates. Bill Gates, big insider in this one. He was gobbling up shares around the lows last year. We're actually going to talk more about this one at the live event tomorrow night. Ecolab, above 240. The breakout is in the books. Next stop, 306. Bill Gates loves it. Flex Limited. I love it when they buy the breakout. We know some really good technicians from Wellington Management, so we're not surprised to see this at all. Some of our favorite technicians have worked at Wellington over the years. So I know they got chart people. I know they got chart people there. I know they see this breakout. And they're loading up the boat, right? So they increased their stake from 6% to 10%, almost doubled their stake on the breakout. Love to see that. Adding on strength. We're above 32, 33. Next stop, 52.50. Okay, we got to talk about crypto. Who wants to talk about crypto? I'm going to try and catch up on the chat here a little bit. Yeah, we got the J-pop. So Jerome Powell, 40 minutes, 42 minutes. Yeah, I was thinking this morning, cold CPI, hot cryptos, right? Cold CPI, hot biotechs. Cold CPI, hot banks, hot real estate. Cold CPI, hot speculative growth. Look at ARK today. Hot small caps, right? Look at IWM today. All that interest rate sensitive stuff really catching a sweet bid with the CPI print coming in below expectations, right? What does that mean? Okay, if inflation is cooling, great. That means we can totally be done hiking rates, right? And finally look forward to when are we getting that first rate cut. So then the market starts pricing in lower interest rates in the future, and they start buying the stocks that are most adversely affected by higher interest rates. Your REITs, your banks, your bios, your speculative growth. Solar stocks are ripping today. Cryptos are ripping today. Now, what do we do here? This is the big four crypto index. We do this, right? We take the big behemoths in the space, the big blue chips. We throw them together in an equal weight index to see what the group or what the basket is trading like. This is Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and Binance. It's the four biggest ones that you need to worry about. It looks just like a chart of Bitcoin is the point, right? So the other ones look this good too. We're right up there at these prior cycle highs. We've been range bound for several months, just chop, 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 drawn in the red channel there. When this goes, or when Bitcoin goes from the same chart setup or when Binance finally confirms that breakout that we thought we had last week, same chart setup, or Solana goes, you're going to want to be in stocks like this, right? What do the Bitcoin miners look like if Bitcoin's back above 70 and takes out 72, 73, right? Starts to get that breakout, starts to really get that breakout in the books. Well, they're all ripping here today. We had a short report, some short sellers put out a dramatized report about how terrible the business of Bitcoin mining is last week or the week before. Couldn't knock these names down. They hung right in there. Yesterday's 4% sell off for Bitcoin couldn't knock these names down. They hung in. What's going to knock them down? If nothing can knock them down, it's only a matter of time before they start trending higher, right? Mara has like a 20% short interest. We love that. Long above 19, I think you get that confirmation. Above this VWAP comes in right around like 20, 21. That's the VWAP from the year-to-date highs, right? You could also use the pivot highs for Mara. The pivot highs, I would call that 22 and a quarter, right? The VWAP is coming in right above the current price right now, right about 21. And so different ways to gain confirmation from this entry. I think you could buy it right here against 19 though, right? So with something like this, you're risking less than $2 to the downside if you're going to stop yourself at 19. And in the case that you're right, I think you could play it for a quick trade. And this could happen by the end of this week, back to like 31 here, these pivot highs. But I think for these Bitcoin or these crypto vehicles at this point in the cycle, and with the way these cryptos are looking, right, with Bitcoin potentially resolving higher, breaking out above those prior cycle highs, we're going to get a monster leg up. And I think you'd be crazy not to want the former all-time highs or the old prior cycle highs in something like Marathon. Same is true for Coinbase, MicroStrategy, all of them. MicroStrategy is really already there, right? So in Marathon, that would be 84, ultimate target of 84. Didn't bring along the Coinbase and MicroStrategy charts today, but we continue to love those as vehicles to gain exposure to Bitcoin. And then in the case of Coinbase, crypto more broadly, right? Talked all about that. So Coinbase all day, nothing has changed there. We continue to like it right here, right now. MicroStrategy, same thing. But I wanted to bring Mara today also because I don't think we talked about Mara recently. I am so long these Bitcoin miners, like all of them. I think there's a catch-up trade there. I think they're going to give you the most beta or the most juice if and when Bitcoin finally breaks out. I think it's high risk, high reward. I think we have some really clean levels in something like Mara, right? Or Riot or Hut, Clean Spark, some of the others we've been trading. Marathon has the highest short interest though. Marathon, I think, is a great option. Up 4% here today. Man, if this thing takes out 21, it's go time. I think we're at 30 in no time. Another trade that I just love right now is semiconductors. I just, I was just talking to Alfonso off air. I said, this is just the semiconductor bull market. This bull market has been all about the chips, right? It's all about NVIDIA, but it's really the whole group. They all look just spectacular. We have so many semiconductor names breaking out today, making fresh all-time highs. Now, if we're to look at semiconductors on a cap-weighted basis, it's going to be, driven higher by NVIDIA and Broadcom and all these really, really strong mega cap semiconductor names. So that'd be something like SMH or the SOX index, right? Already at new all-time highs. But equal weight semiconductors, just like most equal weight things, are lagging the cap weighted counterpart here, right? So this is XSD. This is a Spider ETF. Just now breaking out above the prior cycle highs, like just happening today. When we look at semiconductors relative to the broader market on an equal weight basis, so this is the same fund from the last slide, XSD, and then it's benchmarked against RSP, which is the equal weight S&P 500. We peaked and started going sideways in the first quarter of 2021. This is when market internals peaked, right? This is really the peak of the market last cycle. And then for the past several years, it's just straight sideways, just consolidating the gains coming off, 2017, 2018. Straight sideways. There was no alpha from semiconductors, broadly speaking. Sure, there was alpha from NVIDIA and Broadcom and the likes. But as a group, on an equal weight basis, there hasn't been any outperformance here. Sideways. Same place we were in early 2021. This chart is just now breaking out. Just like XSD on an absolute basis, breaking out new all-time highs today, the relative trend breaking out to new all-time highs today. I think that the way this bull market began, being all about semiconductors, is the same way this bull market will end. All about semiconductors. Sure. Are you going to have spurts of short-term leadership from different groups here and there? Absolutely. Every bull market, every cycle will be like that. Don't throw out your tech stocks. It is so hard to bet against big tech. Semiconductors remain the leaders. We want to be so long names like Applied Materials. First target hit, breaking back out here today. We're above 227, got to be long. Next stop, 322. Lam Research, probably my favorite. It's just so clean. LRCX, big stick, breaking out up 4% today. Last three candles have just been a thing of beauty. We've been straight sideways since early March in Lam Research, digesting these gains coming off of the Q4 lows from last year. I think we're ready for another leg higher. Next stop, 1428. And shout out Jonathan Jackson. Shout out Jonathan Jackson. Got into these names about 4 months ago, and now he's there early for the breakout. That's awesome. KLA Corp, KLAC. These are all semiconductor equipment names. The equipment manufacturers are doing so well right now. ASML too. Get there. So this is KLAC. Above 792, got to stay long. 2 targets already hit on this one. Texas Instruments. We just had a big position taken by one of the hedge funds. I don't want to misspeak. I don't know if it was Elliott. I don't think it was Elliott. One of the hedge funds, was it Value Act? Just took a big position in Texas Instruments. Tommy Tuberville's been there since last year, though. Tommy Tuberville, with the impeccable timing, actually got into this one October 13th of last year. The filing. If you're following along at home, that's basically at the lows. I mean, this bottom was like late October. So great entry for Tommy Tubes. If we're above 202, long target 240. ASML. Speaking of new all-time highs, nice stick up 3.5% today. We had like this little coil after gapping higher, I guess, on June 5th. So last week we gapped higher, made a new all-time high, coiled for like 4 or 5 sessions, and now we're blasting higher with another breakaway gap. This one just looks so good. Next stop, 1225. That's it for today, guys. I mean, get long these cryptos. I think it's coming. You don't want to miss this. Let me check the chat before we take us out. Yeah, we got the Powell. Listen, I think, reactions to things like Powell and CPI prints tend to occur in the direction of the underlying short-term trend, and that's higher. I think Powell gives the market what it wants today. And it's just follow through on the morning rally that came on the heels of the CPI. Maybe we get a double whammy here today. Where do I get historical options price data? All the brokers have it. You get it at the exchanges of the brokers. I find that sometimes when I need data, just talk to your broker. They got access. Yep, love my Google Sheets. We're always in Google Sheets. Pays to be a nerd. Yes, Curtis. Mary, we are fiery hot today. Is it flaming hot? Flaming hot. I got to get used to that. We're gonna have flaming hot setups in the future, guys. Teaser. Great day to be a bull. Look, Donovan, it's been a great year to be a bull. It's been a great 2 years to be a bull. We are coming up on the 2-year anniversary of the current bull market. Did you know? The new 52-week lows list peaked in June of 2022. 2 years in the making. When does it end? Don't know. You guys are very active in the chat today. Best day ever. I love it. I love it. Someone probably Shopify looks great, guys. DraftKings looks great. There's just not enough time, there's not enough room in the deck. I can't bring all the charts. We still like Shopify. We still like DraftKings. Those setups look similar to me right now. I don't know about RSKD. Cold CPI, still lukewarm software. Yeah, isn't that something? Software stocks got to get up off the ground here. But I will say, whether it's software, cybersecurity, internet, cloud computing, they look like tops, but they were not tops. That was not a top in software. I'm actually really interested in a lot of software names here, but I think you got to see a lot of it first. ServiceNow, I know a lot of us got stopped out on that one. Guys, that's another chart I would like to bring today. ServiceNow, I'm back in, right? It's price of admission. You get shook out sometimes. We got shook out of ServiceNow. It was a hard shake. We're ripping higher back above 700. I'm back in. Giddy up. Yeah, look, the way that the Bitcoin stocks, I'm looking at the chat here, right up 9% says it all. The way that the Bitcoin stocks are acting, I think, is information right now for Bitcoin, right? Some of these Bitcoin stocks, Coinbase, some of the miners, look at TeraWulf, WULF, look at Iris Energy, IREN, those are both Bitcoin miners. Look at Hut today, look at Riot today. They're acting like Bitcoin is breaking out. Are they front running a breakout? Bitcoin's weird. It's not going to break out during the session. It'll probably wait and break out while we're eating dinner tonight or while everybody's sleeping, right? But what are the stocks sniffing out here today? I don't know. But I'm with you. I'm thinking the same thing. I'm also very biased right now. Huge long bias for the Bitcoin miners right now. It's oozing out of me. Good for you, Curtis. I love it. I'm adding too. The risk reversals are just, I don't know. This might be the top for risk reversals. I don't know if it's the top for cryptos, but it's probably the top for risk reversals. I don't know if it's ever going to be this good again. All right, let's enjoy it. Let's get it while the getting's good, though. Right? Let's make hay while the sun is shining. Do you use IBKR? Hell yeah, I love Interactive Brokers. Those guys are the best. I love Interactive. I'm Interactive and Schwab till I die. That's it. Pfizer, Bill, bring Pfizer to chart request live tomorrow, 1:30. We'll talk about it then. Or no, 1 o'clock. I always get it confused. 1 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow. Chart request live. We'll talk about Pfizer. Guys, that's it. Thank you for joining me. Any questions, comments, concerns? Want to say hi? Hit us up. Send us a note. info@allstarcharts.com. Otherwise, see you on the morning show tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern time. See you at chart request live tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and see you at the Hot Corner live event tomorrow afternoon. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.